Hello and welcome to the channel. At long last, a day has come to show you my collection of figures. I've also got a huge collection of DVDs, but basically you'll be seeing McFarlane's, Marvel Legends, NECA and Black Series Star Wars. I'm filming this bit of Harry Potter memorabilia just to take your mind off what I'm saying, because there's a lot to take in. Let's get close up on that. So yeah, one of my favourite films in my collection is one called 40-Year-Old Virgin, starring Steve Carell. And you'll see him in things like US version of The Office, Evan Almighty and Anchorman. So basically, in that film, he's living in an apartment with a vintage toy collection, and yeah, he's has his collection all over his home. So I've done a similar layout. You're going to start in the bedroom area, then go to the kitchen area, and then eventually the living area. So that's a close-up of what it says on that sign. Pan back, sit back and enjoy the ride. So here's the first segment. That's getting close. There, Captain America. I like to pose out my figures, create dynamics and movement. And there's Iron Man. Deadpool. Blade. I like that pose of Blade. Yep. And there you'll see Domino from Deadpool 2, the Hulk, Hydra Stomper, and Red Skull from Captain America First Avenger. And overall, I'm pretty pleased with those poses. I'm going to pause it again and take you to the other side of the bedroom. So this is my tumbler, as you can see, and there's Bruce Wayne unmasked, Christian Bale, and I'm coming close there, Lucius Fox, played by Morgan Freeman. So pretty much like this. What I tend to do is I don't buy my figures or vehicles straight away. I fight collector's fever and I wait and I wait. Sometimes it doesn't pay off, but most of the figures I've got are half price and less than half price, so I've been very lucky. And with this vehicle being 100 quid, eventually I got the Batman single-seater downstairs, Michael Keaton. They both dropped down from 100 to about 60 quid. So at that level, I'm very happy. And I'll just pause it there. So I'll take you to the next section. Back again. So we'll come into this figure. And this is Kingdom Come Superman. I really like him. And then we'll come down to Bruce Wayne, 66 Batman. Looking forward to McFarlane giving us a Robin. That actor was played by Burt Ward. And then we'll come across to Ben Affleck Batman. Not too bad. And then here's this guy, Bane, coated version. Let's get down to Mr. Indiana Jones from Raiders of the Lost Ark. Nightmare Batman. Not very good That's Godzilla movie version, and that's Aquaman seated on Darkseid Lex Luthor throne. I like that look. Sorry about the shadow, but there he is. So come up the tower, you'll see these guys. To Bane, and then I'll swing across the room to that section, and I'll pause it so I can get down into a better position. So there's top up file and release of John Wick, and below him Hank Pym, Beast from X-Men. Like that figure. Then in my collection I've got the Incredibles. I love this guy. He was voiced by Craig T. Nelson. Sorry about the shadow. And then finally, if you can get a shot, let me give you a better shot. Yeah, unfortunately it's the shadow, but there he is, Mr. Freeze, voiced by Samuel L. Jackson. I'm after the rest of the family, but that's all in the pipeline. And there's my animation figures. Batman at the front, John Wick, John Stewart, Green Lantern there, Superman, and then Flash on the back. Yeah, I'll put him there because that's Batman's diorama, but I did it for this reason. You can get the lightning effect, which I think is better. So there's them guys. Batman voiced by Kevin Conroy, who's no longer with us, but he was a good Batman. So there you go. So I'll put that footage on pause and I'll take you to the landing. Let's get close in on Batman. Hello, and finally here we are on the last segment of this grand tour, and that's my favourite Build-A-Figure Bat from the Batman Forever wave. Really love that. And then we're going to come to Wonder Woman, and there's Cyborg. There's my favourite version of Ben Affleck Batman, Armoured Batman. And there you go, there's a Flash from the Flash movie. And there's Aquaman in his stealth suit from Aquaman 2. So I like the way I've posed these guys out. Oops. Trying to get a decent shot to finish on. So yes, that concludes the first part of this grand tour. We're going downstairs to the kitchen area, so stay tuned. So welcome back in the kitchen area, and as you can see, I've got a little scene going on there between Doc Ock, Spider-Man and Venom, and I do like to create these sort of scenes in between my standard poses. So we'll come up to these guys first. There's Vision, like that. Spider-Man, Silver Surfer, Mystique or Raven, Iron Man, those guys I said already. Iron Man there, sorry, and there's War Machine there. So we come across to Wolverine. I like that head sculpt of Deadpool, and Hawkeye on this behind or in front of his sky cycle. And over the top you can see Sabretooth, Ghost Rider, Red Skull, a Batman, Hawk, sorry not Hawk, Falcon, and Lady Deadpool. No, she's not Lady Deadpool, Madam Hydra. That blue guy from the X-Men world, Rhinoceros, Thor, a Batman, Katana there from the Suicide Squad, Eddie the Hood with the guns, and futuristic Cyclops, I think, yeah it is. So we just end on that shot, the Spider-Man shot, and go to the final figure in the kitchen. So this is the final figure in the kitchen, King Kong, released by NECA. Really like that pose, really like the figure. There was another version released by NECA, and that's the one where he's on top of the Empire State Building and he's fighting off attacking aircraft, but this is the Skull Island version. I've got all the King Kong movies in my collection, including the version this figure's based on, which was made back in the 30s but being remastered. And that's him. And the guy that did the special effects is considered the grandfather of special effects, is Ray Harryhausen, and I've got a few of his films. Seventh Voyage of Sinbad, Golden Voyage of Sinbad, Sinbad and the Eye of the Tiger, Jack the Giant Killer, my favourite, Jason and the Argonauts. And he developed this technique called stop motion photography, where you move the figure, you film it, you move it, you film it, you move it, you film it, and then when you put together the footage it looks like the figure's moving by itself. I know, as I said, Spielberg and George Lucas were huge fans and he inspired their movies. But that's it then, King Kong as he is, released by NECA, and he will be back in the new year when I reshoot this figure and show you some new poses. So we're going into the living room area, so let me just get a decent shot. Stay with me. Hello and welcome to the living room area. I'm just going to pan around that room to show you the collection. And that's a complete pan of the room. So I'm going to come around to this section first. Dark Knight Returns. Frank Miller did the artwork, also did stuff like 300 and Sin City. That mutant leader there is not a McFarlane's release, but he was seen to scale, and when Batman and him are in posing fighters, it looks really posing fighting positions, it looks really good. I like that. And I love Carrie Kelly. I love that figure. Bags of personality. And then Joker there, I love that pose. Recently put him in that pose. I know fans are not a big fan of the figure, but I am. I think he's good. Especially when you put any weapon in his hand. That's Joker. And then we'll go to the back, show you Constantine, and he's got a pistol from the accessory pack that I bought. I bought two, Todd McFarlane's weapons accessory pack, but I like that look. I like my figures to have movement and a bit of personality and some dynamics. But yeah, that section there is nice. And I look forward to posing them all on camera in the new year. So I'll pause it take you to the next section. There's the next section. Doctor Strange, Cyclops, Magneto, Havoc at the back on the right, and at the back on the left is Professor Xavier. Let's see if we can get in closer. It's a bit dicey. That's better. Yeah, Baron Morado and Master Wong. Yeah, not bad. That's your Robert Pattinson Batman wave with the Bat Cycle. I like that Batman look. Then we got the Fantastic Four wave. Oh, sorry about that. Doctor Doom, Johnny Storm, Human Torch, Silver Surfer, Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, Sue Storm, Invisible Woman, Invisible Girl, and The Thing. Yeah, I love that Silver Surfer. That's the one I've been chasing a while now. Got him a couple of weeks back. I will be posting him next year for you to see. Then we're down onto my Spider-Man world. It's Elektra, Punisher, Kingpin, Daredevil, Spider-Man, Blockhead behind him, Shocker at the back on the right, Hobgoblin in the middle, and Spectre, I think that's his name, at the back on the left. And then we'll come down finally to the Wakanda section. Eric Killmonger, Suri, classic Black Panther, Prince T'Challa, Namor, aka Kukulkan Khan at the back, Ioke, I think that is, head of the security forces, I'm not too sure. M'Baku in the middle there at the back, King of the Mobari tribe, the Gorilla tribe, and then Nakia and Ironheart on the left. That's my little Wakanda wave. And then at the bottom there, you've got Hellboy, my Ron Perlman Hellboy, Robocop, the T-800 at the back, and Judge Dredd. My favourite version of Judge Dredd, for me, when I read him in 2000 AD, a comic from the 70s, this is how he looked. And if they could make a film of him like this, just as violent as Deadpool and Wolverine, it would be awesome. So that's that. Go back up the shelf. I think I'll end it on that. Pause it for now so I can get to the other side. Come to Spider-Man. And I'll be right back. So we're on the top of these cabinets now, and you're looking at Spawn, my favourite version of Deathstroke. Lobo, apparently is being played by Jason Momoa. Flash, I bought him because I do like the helmet part. Reminds me of Nightmare Flash. My favourite versions of Loki, sorry about the light, and Thor. So pulling back. Let's get to that shot. Pause it and start again on the cabinet section. Welcome to the cabinet section. I'm just showing you my Star Wars now. I won't name them all, because if you're a Star Wars fan, you're going to know who they are. And I've got some Mandalorian in there. Let me take you down to this section. There's the Emperor. That's a new pose from me. I love that pose. Got that lightsaber off one of my other Darth Maul figures. And there he is, Darth Maul. Yeah, so just showing you quickly what these look like. Good. And then on this side for my Aquaman wave. So on the other side of these cabinets, you'll see for the first time my McFarlane's figures. I don't normally have these sort of figures in here, but I do like the overall effect. Ocean Master, Aquaman, Manta. Let's come over the top. You'll see Swamp Thing and King Kordax. And next year I'll be reviewing all these figures, so I'll go into them in more depth. But I do like those. Coming down below, we've got my Christian Bale Batman wave. There he is. Bane. Joker. Never had Joker sitting on the money before. I like that effect. And over the top you'll see Aaron Eckhart Two-Face, Catwoman. That's the first time I'm posing her with a bazooka, and I like that effect. Seems to work well. And then Scarecrow there at the left hand side. So I'm pleased with that. Not bad. And then on the bottom section, got these guys. Damian Wayne, really love him, bags of personality. And you see Green Arrow behind him, my favourite version. Didn't want the other version, just like the look of this figure. Then we've got, I'm trying to get to Batman there, Green Lantern. He's quite an evil guy apparently, but I love that green construct on his arm, which if you can just make it out is a bat. So I love that figure. It was only £9 as well, which was good. And then at the back you'll see Cyclone, the girl who's in Black Adam. And that's my cheapest purchase to date. £5. And that's Lex Luthor in the power suit. And I put a Stormtrooper's pistol with him because I like the way that suit looks with the pistol. And then we've got Harley Quinn, like her. And I like that figure because in the Emancipation of Harley Quinn, the Solo movie, that's one of the outfits she was wearing and I liked it. Yeah. So overall, coming back, you're seeing what I'm seeing. Yeah, I like the overall effect. So I just come in on the Star Wars figures and pause it and see you on the other side of the room. Back in the room again. So there, coming in close, you'll see my Heath Ledger Joker, given to me by my friend Ray. Check out Ray's collection. I guarantee you that guy's building a diorama out of his head No one was paid to do it, and it looks awesome. It's yet to be completed, that room, but I urge you to subscribe. And he gave me that figure, so thank you, Ray. And then you've got my Avatar figures there. Fire and Ash is coming out soon, can't wait. Could get a lot of figures, these would be one of them, but it's a space issue, and for me, less is more. Like that. Then you can just about make out a Wonder Woman there. And on this side, there's another one. And that ship there is the Starship Enterprise Constellation class, captained by James T. Kirk. And on the other side, you'll see that one, Galaxy class, captained by Jean-Luc Picard. Right, let's move on. So down here, you'll see my Batmobile, my favourite one. I do love the Tumbler, but this is the one I really liked. Single seater, and I wanted the shiny version. I think it stands out better in the collection. And there is Michael Keaton Batman. Now that head sculpt for me is the best head sculpt they've done for a Batman, for this actor. I just think that is Michael Keaton all over. Now I do love the latest releases of Batman, I do. I think they've really improved, but if they just kept this head sculpt, that would be enough, because that is Michael Keaton. So I love him. Yeah, we'll talk more about him in the new year when I pose him out with the car. That's him, Michael Keaton, Batman. So we come down to Armoured Batman from The Dark Knight Returns. Love the figure. And we come across the way to The Dark Knight Returns Superman. Like that. And then we come over on here, you'll see Peacemaker and Bloodsport. And then Peacemaker, I liked him because I like the actor Idris Elba. So I thought his head sculpt wasn't a bad likeness. But I've seen the masked version of this going as cheap as a tenner, so I might pick it up. Yeah. So we'll come back over to the Batmobile. Onto Michael Keaton, pause it. And I'll show you the next segment. So there's Ant-Man and Wasp. Love those movies. That's in my collection. I've got all the MCU and DC films in my collection because I like to collect DVDs. And then we'll come over onto this section where you'll see this guy. Like the way he was being posed out there. That was played by Kevin Peter Hall, this guy, in '79, and he went on to play Predator. And he was in a film called Harry and the Hendersons about Bigfoot. It's a comedy starring John Lithgow, but he's played both iconic aliens, the Alien and the Predator, and I think he set a standard of performance which has yet to be beaten. So that's him. And then we're going to come down. My small homage to Jerry Anderson, but we'll talk about that another time. Then that's Spider-Gwen and Miles Morales Spider-Man. And then I'll come back on the top. Give you a shot there and pause it to take you to the next segment. Hello and welcome to the next segment. Coming to the end now. And what I like to do, as you would have seen in the kitchen area, is create little scenes. And I've created a scene here between Hush Batman and Azrael. Azrael, this being one of my favourite Azrael version figures. There's a few I want to get, but this is the only one I've got, and I do love him. He reminds me of a Transformer in one of the Mark Wahlberg films, like an ancient one, and I love him. So create that little pose. I won't name all these guys off, just give you an idea what I got. That's my favourite Superman in my collection, Christopher Reeve, awesome. Can't wait to get him back in front of camera and show you guys what he's about. And there's my favourite version of Mr. Freeze. That's him for me. I know there's a lot of variants and colours on it, but I like the colours simple, black and white, bit of tinged blue face and red goggles. Love it. Excuse me. And then we come to my Predators. These are the first time I'm putting these down here. These two at the front. Now, that one's my latest acquisition of a Predator, my biggest Predator. Love him. And that one, Feral Predator from Prey, is the only one I've got with a magnetised body. I'll see if I can get round the side and show you that. At the back there, you'll just about, see his medipack and his pistol. That's magnetised to the back of his body. But I love these figures. I put them without their head sculpts, with the helmet head sculpts, because I like to see their personalities. Gives them some characteristics, but of course you'll see them all in their helmets when I reshoot these guys. Yeah, and then we'll come over the top, see some of those figures. You got Black Adam there, Hawkman. I do love that guy. He's my favourite guy in Black Adam. Dr. Fate, played by Pierce Brosnan. James Bond, I've got all the James Bond. I love his stories. And we come down to these two individuals. Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, facing up to Parallax, the evil version of Hal Jordan. And there's Kyle Renner. That guy's called Ghost. Raven, that's a Spawn variant. Ninja Spawn, I like him. Atom, I love Martian Manhunter. Just getting the aerial shot. Sorry about my thumb. Yeah, so I'm pleased with that table. I posed everything today for this grand tour video. So hopefully you'll see some things you really like, get ideas about. Let's come in on those two. And I'll pause it for our final segment. Get down there. So welcome to the final segment of this grand collectibles tour. And this is my Batman Forever wave. Recently posed out. And I will say Val Kilmer was a very good Batman. I'm not a fan of the story, but I did think he was a very good Batman. And he is no longer with us, sadly, like Kevin Conroy, who I paid tribute to earlier. But I love these figures and bought the wave initially because I wanted him. Jim Carrey, Riddler, Then we've got Chris O'Donnell, Robin, and then not forgetting your man there, Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face. And then upstairs you've seen the Bat, but I will reshoot all these guys in the new year. Because it's Christmas, I'm pan back on that, the Christmas tree. Come down to these figures for the last time. And for those of you tuned into the channel, I do hope you've enjoyed what you've seen. I do want to get more figures. Have to bear in mind it's a space issue, but I'll be back in 2026 and I'll be shooting most days if I can, giving you some dynamics, some movement, some characteristics. You may not like what I've got, you may do like some of the things I've got. It doesn't matter. If you just have a nosy, see what I'm doing, I'd much appreciate it. So because of the Christmas tree, which is the fine time you see it, I'm going to say thanks for watching. Merry Christmas. Have a happy new year and a peaceful new year. And I'll see you guys in 2026. Thanks for tuning into the channel.